And we're live. Thank you for joining us real quick. I know it is very early. Again, I know when you see me this early in the morning and this ready to go, you must know something big just happened. Um, Spoiler alert, it's on my shirt. If you haven't heard the news, I'm going to get right into it real quick. I do want to let you know, thank you for joining RaisedFistMedia with this quick little news drop from RaisedFistMedia Gaming. I'm Kwame Norval, and oh boy, waking up this morning to some news. Next Generation just got interesting, baby. Let's get right into it. We're going to go over to a article from Kotaku that says Microsoft buys Bethesda parent ZeniMax for $7.5 billion. This was written by Mike Fahey. It's a pretty quick article, so I'll read it down the line for you really quick. Pending the closure of a $7.5 billion cash sale, Microsoft has purchased ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Gun, Tango Works, Alpha Dog, Roadhouse Studios. According to a press release posted by Bethesda this morning, the sale is expected to be finalized by the second half of fiscal year 2021, giving Microsoft ownership of The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Dishonored, Prey, and whatever else ZeniMax Studios might be cooking up. Bethesda is currently publishing a pair of timed Sony exclusives for Sony's PlayStation 5, Arcane Studios' Deathloop, and Tango Gameworks game Ghostwire Tokyo. Sorry, still early, hard time reading. No word if the impending acquisitions will change the exclusivity of both of those titles. In a blog post on Xbox Wire, Xbox boss Phil Spencer welcomes the ZeniMax Media family to Microsoft. On the Bethesda blog, Senior VP of Communication Pete Hines explains why Microsoft is a good fit for ZeniMax Media. $7.5 billion helps, I'm sure. Holy smokes. This thing just got real damn interesting. As you could tell from my Fallout shirt, I am, of course, a huge fan of Bethesda and their games. Oh boy, I am ecstatic about this. I know big buyouts are typically a terrible thing. I don't, especially as a leftist, I don't want to get too happy and celebratory about a big, large corporation buying another big company. But this is a very best case scenario for a couple of reasons. For one, if it's going to go to any huge company, I'd rather it go to Xbox than anyone else right now, rather an EA or Sony or anyone like that. Because as of right now, they seem to be the most consumer friendly. Maybe it's because they had such a rough generation this generation. For whatever the reason is, maybe they're genuine in it. Phil Spencer talks the talk and walks the walk. He seems like a genuine guy, and he seems to be turning that studio around. I am very intrigued to see how it's going to go, because Microsoft has been one of the more consumer-friendly companies so far. They've been kind of anti-exclusive. That's why I feel like this is a best-case scenario for a buyout like this. Because multi-platform games, I don't think you have to worry about them going away. Any other time, like with Wasteland 3 or any of their other big acquisitions, any game that they had already been working on that was multi-platform has stayed multi-platform so far. Same thing with the Outer Worlds, which was a big hit. They could have very easily pulled that back and said, oh, no, Sony people, you aren't getting that. No one's getting that other than Microsoft and PC. They didn't. They held forth. I don't know whether that's due to agreements and contracts or just the good nature of them wanting to be pro-consumer. I'm hoping it's the latter here. So I'm not worried about Elder Scrolls or Fallout or Doom becoming exclusives. I think that we're pretty safe that those games will continue on. Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, those are going to come out. They're going to come out for PS5. They're going to come out for Xbox Series X. I'd be very surprised to see otherwise. Even with Sony doing a lot of really firing the guns and being pretty savage in their exclusivity deals and really playing hardball in a kind of anti-consumer way that I haven't been a big fan of and been vocal about so far. I am very curious to see what is going to happen with that going forward. I'm less concerned here with Microsoft because they seem to be going very much in the other direction. And even with all that being said, I don't think that they're going to go tit for tat and you're going to see Elder Scrolls 6 get locked down and taken off of PlayStation. With the WB deal seeming to not go through, this is the best hand that Microsoft has right now. This changes the dynamic totally. This excites me for what we're going to see next generation. Sony's got some really big guns by the way of exclusive and first-party content. They are the kings of that right now. I would say mainly because Nintendo lacks in a little bit more of the mature titles, the more prestige gaming, as they would call it, your HBO-style games like The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, those kind of games are not quite as frequent on Nintendo, so I will give Sony the title for first-party kings, but man, did things just get real damn interesting. As you could tell from me wearing this Fallout shirt, I am a huge fan of Fallout. I would say next to BioWare and the Mass Effect and Dragon Age games, Bethesda has crafted, for me personally, my favorite RPGs. I love Japanese RPGs. I love Final Fantasy games. Even though I haven't completed a bunch of them, I beat Fallout 3. I got super far into Fallout 4. I need to go back and play Fallout New Vegas. I'm going to go back and play a lot of these games. But they were some of my favorite RPGs to come out. And I know that a lot of the OG Fallout fans don't like them and the change that they went going from what old Fallout was to what new was. And a lot of people would even argue that Obsidian made the best Fallout game with New Vegas, but they're also owned by Microsoft. So Microsoft has just, in a major way, solved their RPG problem. Because now we've got Obsidian, we've got In Exile, and we've got Bethesda probably all going under the same roof. Holy smokes. And then they've always been strong on shooters when you look at Gears and Halo, but you just picked up the team who made Doom, and then you get into that not procedural. There's a specific name for it. Dishonored was in that category. Deus Ex is in the category of like really flexible, not choose your own adventure, but there's 80 different ways to tackle this objective. Prey was in there. It's a specific classification of games that is eluding me right now, and I apologize for not having that genre on my hand. But for Microsoft to pick those teams up like Arcane and what they're doing and what they've done with like Dishonored and Prey, I am just, oh boy, absolutely stunned. This should mean great things going forward, especially with Microsoft seeming to make a push towards MMOs on there. Elder Scrolls Online started and launched half-baked, but quickly turned into one of the big 3 online MMOs, especially on consoles. It's easily one of the top. I've really enjoyed my amount of time with it. I've actually fallen back into it. So this is going to be a big get if they look towards pushing MMOs on Xbox as well, with the rumors of, and I know I was wrong with my guess that Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 14 would be going on Xbox. I still think that that is coming paired with a Final Fantasy 7 remake announcement sometime soon. But we get Final Fantasy 14 on there, we get this, and then we have these rumors of WoW coming to console soon. And the MMO space is going to be real interesting, especially on Xbox. I'm very curious to see what this does, especially when you hear those rumors of, the State of Decay looking to go more that route, or possibly rumored to be working on a MMO, and maybe the crossover work and the teams being able to share resources and tips and tricks. And it just gets real exciting. I know first instinct is to get doom and gloom based on what happened with Xbox in the past, of them buying and doing buying companies and the bad things that have happened there. But I think that given what we've seen recently with them buying studios and making all the right decisions, saying all the right things, making pro studio, pro developer, pro consumer moves, I am a lot less worried about this one. I'm really curious to see where it goes. Man, this is stunning. I am a very big Bethesda fan. I know they've made some really boneheaded mistakes, especially around Fallout 76 recently, but I still tend to give them the benefit of the doubt and be hopeful in what we have going forward. And this is absolutely huge information. Oh boy. Please leave us a comment if you haven't. Definitely let's get some info on here. I actually have a comment from FL. Said, I love RPGs. What are the benefits of the acquisition for consumers, but what are the cons of it for both consumers and workers? That's a dope question. I'd say the benefit for consumers will be less from the acquisition itself and more of what it'll mean as far as the competition. Competition is always good for consumers. That's why Xbox getting so thoroughly beaten by Sony in this console generation has done better by way of Xbox gamers and consumers and what it's pushed Microsoft to do as far as crossplay, backwards compatibility, whether it be your games or your accessories, a lot of things. Game Pass, they've made the right decision because they were backed in the corner. Sony did that before when they were backed in the corner post PS3, and they've pushed towards slightly more anti-consumer, dragging their feet in a way based on them kind of taking lead in this generation. When you look at them being so resistant to crossplay and everything like that, and some of the things they've done recently. Whereas Microsoft has been way more open and willing to put their games on PC, Nintendo, I feel like that's where it's going to really benefit the consumers. That I don't think we're going to see a loss of these franchises like we should have worried for in the past. Where it'll benefit the workers is hopefully a bigger influx of money, some more security. From what it seems, I know how things were with like Bungie and some of the older companies back when Microsoft owned them in the past. They tend to be a way more supportive from what we hear from developers now who get more backing and more support, the funding, the ability to play more, and Game Pass being what it is, even more so gives them some flexibility because it's a constant source of games. So that allows them to make not everything triple and quadruple A games like they're striving for, but to make double A and lower, smaller titles that can be awesome. You look at something like a Grounded and the ability to put that out and to just work on that more long term without fear of funding going away. And I think that that is just another testament to the perks of Game Pass and the experimentation that it allows. And I hope that I know Bethesda was already very large funding wise. They were already doing very well financially. So I don't know if funding is exactly what will benefit the workers over there. But I hope that they're allowed to, get some more opportunities there. I do have real life popping up for me here, so I will have to run. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you, FL, for your comment. 1 second here, guys. Sorry, let me just mute this. I apologize. That was pretty bad of me. Thank you again for joining me here. If you haven't, please support the show. I got the Patreon right below, patreon.com/RaisedFistMedia. Any little bit can help. I really would appreciate any support that you can give us. And at the very least, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. We do read your comments. I'll try to respond to all of them, if not address them in a future video. This was a quick one. I just really wanted to get that out there for you guys. Let me hear your thoughts. Wow. Thanks again for joining us. See ya.